In our Sunrise Smart Start, one person has been arrested after a car struck a utility pole overnight. Monroe County Sheriff's deputies say the crash happened on Scottsville Road in Chili around 1:30. Investigators say the car left the roadway and struck the pole and then flipped. The driver was taken to the hospital with minor injuries and has been charged with a DWI. That stretch of Chili Avenue is now open at this time. Well, big news for those who catch COVID. The CDC is cutting isolation restrictions for Americans who test positive for the virus or are exposed to it. U.S. health officials are changing isolation restrictions from 10 to 5 days for those with COVID who are asymptomatic and those exposed as a close contact. For those who have received their booster shot, the CDC now says you do not need to quarantine following an exposure, but should wear a mask. CDC officials say the guidance is in keeping with growing evidence that people with the virus are most infectious in the 2 days before and 3 days after they develop symptoms. Officials say the decision is also being driven by a recent surge in COVID cases, mostly due to that Omicron variant. Governor Hochul's office responding to this change in guidance, saying, quote, as we battle this winter surge, we will keep following the data and science-based public health policies to protect New Yorkers. This is a critical step to support our small businesses, critical industries, and essential services as we get through this new variant. And Governor Hochul was among several governors meeting with President Biden Monday to discuss the pandemic response nationwide. The president acknowledged the challenges state leaders are facing in getting enough tests and addressing hospital capacity concerns. He says the country has the tools to effectively fight the pandemic, including vaccines, tests, and masks. The White House says it will continue working with state leaders on their responses amid a COVID surge.
We just have to stay focused and continue to work together. My message to the governor is simple. If you need something, say something. And we're going to have your back in any way we can.
President Biden has also deployed military doctors and nurses across the country to help reduce the strain on hospitals. And looking now at the local numbers, 18 new COVID-related deaths have been confirmed in Monroe County. Those deaths happening between the 8th and the 20th of this month. 233 new cases were confirmed during yesterday's update. 492 people are hospitalized with the virus in the Finger Lakes region, and 138 of those patients are in the ICU. The state health department is monitoring a rise in children being hospitalized with COVID. Last week, health officials say 184 kids ages 5 through 11 were hospitalized with the virus statewide. That's an increase of more than 100 from the week of December 5th. Of those hospitalized, none of the children in that age group, that 5 to 11 age group, were fully vaccinated. Only a quarter of the 12 to 17-year-olds were.
We want pediatricians to be alert to making the diagnosis of COVID in children. And we also want parents to be alert to the diagnosis. Many people continue to think that children don't become infected with COVID. This is not true.
Officials say it's still a relatively small number of hospitalizations and say they released the updated data as a way of encouraging more parents to get their kids vaccinated. Well, James, it seems like a pretty, I don't want to say mild, but 37 degrees isn't too cold out there compared to the weather we've been seeing the last few mornings.
Yeah, it's all relative. You know, I do know some people that say if it's under 40 degrees, it's cold no matter what.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Right, yeah, that's for some viewpoints. I think others might say, oh, this is comfortable, mid-30s. For late December, it really is warmer than average, though. And I am looking forward to the potential of seeing a little bit of sun on the morning dog walk. Sunrise in about an hour or so, but we could see twilight as early as about 7:20, so something to look forward to. Next 24 hours, we will hold in the mid-30s through about 4 or 5 o'clock. Then some rain and snow showers move in, transition to all snow, minor accumulation overnight. We'll take a last look at the 8-day forecast at the end of the show. Allie.
All right, James, excited for that sunshine. Well, our sunrise traffic alert now. One accident on North Clinton Avenue at Oakman Street in Rochester, still going on there. A look at the thruway. Things seem to be moving pretty good out there. And 390, 495, 90 all on time. Pretty consistent this morning. Well, new on Sunrise, are you someone who prefers to keep the Christmas tree up until New Year's, or are you looking to get a head start and take it down right away? Either way, instead of throwing it to the curb, many towns and the city are encouraging recycling. Erica Koss joins us in Penfield with more this morning. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning, Allie. And the smell of Christmas pine is in the air because we are at the Department of Public Works, where there's a small collection of old Christmas trees starting to pile up here, all to be recycled. Penfield Town Supervisor Tony LaFountain says it's important we minimize what is going in the landfill. When you recycle your tree, instead of throwing it to the curb, it will go in a pile of other trees, as we just showed you, to be ground up into mulch for the community to use throughout the year. LaFountain says they usually get around 700 to 1,000 trees from residents each year, and drop-off usually starts to pick up pace after the New Year's.
We're not a newcomer by any means. We really started our recycling program back in the early 90s and just kept building on it from there. So I would say it's 20 years or more that we've been doing Christmas trees, because it is so easy to actually just take it to the end of the driveway and have the garbage collectors pick it up. And I'm fortunate that I have a pickup truck, so I've been known to grab trees in my neighborhood that are out by the curb to take them over to DPW, just to make it a little bit easier from a recycling standpoint.
And some towns and villages in Monroe County might have a pickup service for your curb in addition to the drop-off site. Every town is different when it comes to recycling your trees, so make sure to check with your Department of Public Works. In Penfield, Erica Cost, News 8.
All right, Erica, thank you so much. Like she just mentioned, lots of options out there for recycling those trees, and we have a full list on where you can go to recycle those. That can be found at monroecounty.gov. In national news now, 5 people are dead after a series of shootings last night in Colorado, including one that sent an officer to the hospital. Denver and Lakewood police say the string of shootings began around 6 p.m. The suspect was eventually tracked down by police and began firing at the officers, who then shot back. The suspect was shot and killed. The fatal shootings are now under investigation. And officials in San Diego believe multiple people are dead after a plane crashed into a neighborhood. Just after 7 p.m. yesterday, the plane lost control, leaving a trail of flames along the street and hundreds of nearby residents without power. Now, it's unclear how many people were on board, but no injuries were reported on the ground. The cause of the plane crash is still under investigation. Crews in Richmond, Virginia found what appeared to be a second time capsule at the base of a removed statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Experts believe it may contain coins, books, buttons, and possibly ammunition from the Civil War. It's said to be opened this afternoon. Well, time now for the GRE Morning Business Report. Demand for oil returned in 2021 after being down in 2020 when millions worldwide stayed home during the pandemic. Now there's speculation 2022 may end up being among the best years ever for those in the oil industry. The International Energy Agency predicts crude consumption could reach nearly 100 million barrels a day, which would put it on track to exceed or at least approach the record. Unless supply increases more than expected, that could mean continued uptick in prices at the pump in the new year. With online sales surging in 2021, a record number of returns are anticipated. Every year, a big chunk of those returns end up in landfills. Now, one company is aiming to help solve that problem. UpToro processes merchandise for sellers like American Eagle, Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, and others, ensuring a refund for customers, then relisting the product for a new sale, meaning the items will never go back to the retailer's warehouse. Instead, they're held at one of the company's 36 warehouses until sold again.
You'll see all their returns come back, they pile up, they sit, and it often quarterly or twice a year they might liquidate them for pennies on the dollar. Or even potentially destroy them. Our technology connects every returned item, no matter the condition, to its next best home as efficiently as possible.
And it's estimated almost 6 billion tons of return inventory will end up in the landfills after the holiday season. And here's what some people might be talking about at the water cooler this morning. Syracuse men's basketball picking up a win after not playing a game in over 2 weeks. The Orange taking on Brown University in their first action since December 11th due to COVID concerns. Now that 93-62 win puts the Orange at 6-5 on the year. James, are you a basketball fan?
A little bit. I like to watch the Knicks occasionally and certainly root for the Orange. It's fun to watch a team that's always on the bubble, always on the fringe, and then does pretty well in March Madness in the tournament. So
very true.
yeah, we'll be certainly rooting for them, and good to see that they are all healthy and back on the court. Let's root for them and continued good health. Drivecast this morning, we'll call it mid-30s. That is mild for this time of year. We'll hang in the 30s before snow showers overnight and into very early Wednesday morning. Still could get about an inch out of it. Thursday, that's the next chance we could see a couple of flakes flying, but not expecting any accumulation. And you say, how could it snow if it's in the 40s? Well, a lot of this is overnight. In fact, Wednesday night into very early Thursday morning. Then we really turn warm, mid-40s for New Year's Eve on Friday. And next storm system will be in the new year, 2022, around the corner.
Well, beautiful day on Friday there. Thank you so much, James. And thank you so much for watching News 8 at Sunrise.